I would say 99% of me is led to believe that there's some kind of gypsies in the system. And when they want to, they steal your audio. And if they want to, they give it back. So what I think you and I need to start doing is we need to come to these episodes with gold in hand. And if we have gold, we can barter.
It's not a bad idea. Let's just get one final test in there. Make sure everything's working. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Come in, Red Leader. This is Alpha Bravo 69er. Come in.
This is Spooky Thunder reaching out to Blue Nips. Do you read me, Nips?
Yeah, copy. Read that loud and clear. Go time.
Nips, could you give me a test so I could get a feedback? Give me a little twist.
What kind of test you need here?
Give me a full twist on that nipple twist.
Mic tap. That was a little mic
tap. You've been recording this whole time and you pushed your Johnson into the microphone. I'm not offended.
Nobody watches the YouTube video. They listen to it. Actually, we only have YouTube video, right? So basically, if they're listening, they're watching.
Basically, you know what we need to do? I'm not going to do it at this moment, but at some point in time in this podcast, because I said that I was going to do it like a month ago and then I forgot, is I have to announce the winner for when we said that pickles thing.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll drop it at the perfect time. So we actually know if our listeners are really connected with us.
That's smart. It's a good plan. Good plan.
Are those shooting shades, by the way?
These are all purpose shades. Mostly they're for SPF and radon.
They block sun from your eyes, so you don't get sunburns on your eyes.
Yeah, so I can check out babes on the beach, basically, without getting busted.
Can we talk about our rustic beards? Are you liking this little caramel macchiato beard?
Dude, that is literally one of the first things on my notepad to talk about was facial hair, because yes. I don't think I've seen you with this is probably the most facial hair I've ever seen you with.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks. So I looked at my calendar. I think I flew out on Thursday. I think I shaved the 7th of April before we went to Hyrox, and today is Tuesday, the 20th. So we are 2 weeks, and we're just under 2 weeks. So I'm feeling pretty damn
strong showing. Very strong showing.
I know. You know what's creepy? I smell like a damn hippie because I have tea tree oil. Katie gave me tea tree oil, and you rub it into your beard. Yeah. You know that itchy phase? I never make it past it. So I had tea tree oil, and I was rubbing it into my skin the whole time, and it was a game changer. Like, unbelievable game changer. Really? So that's why I think I've pushed to this point. And now I'm just like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm not a beard guy. You look way better with a beard than I think I'll ever pull off. So, it was a compliment, but also at the same time, like self-deprecating. I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to try. I'm not a Sons of Anarchy.
I mean, how would you, if you were to grow a beard, how would you grow it? Like, are you just talking like full wild man, just like bush, like that dude from Into the Wild?
Yeah, the weird thing is like I don't find beards on most people to be attractive. Like, I'm not going out like chasing dudes to begin with, but I can look at a dude and be like, hey, like, that's a good look for you. You got this beard. That's a good look for you. Some people just don't pull off beards very well, and they try. And, I just think that my face is defined like through my jawline and a couple other features. And like, it doesn't look that well with a beard.
Yeah, I could agree with that. But I mean, don't rely too much on your jawline. I know it's gotten you pretty far in life so far, but you don't want to rely on that. No,
I'm not relying on it by any means. I'm just saying, like, my face is kind of angular. When you take away the angles, like, I think it's just, it's part of who I am.
Yeah, I got you.
It rounds it out.
Well, when I had my beard going last year and you had the stash, that was a good look. Good. I mean, together, I don't know how we looked separate, but like together it paired very well.
Dude, have you seen Hall & Oates? Go on right now and just Google Hall & Oates. We were that.
I think they might have copied us. It was that strong of a connection.
And our hair looked so good at the time. You had a shorter haircut. I had like the froey haircut. God, we were fucking killing it. And then when we get on the moped and just do random missions, truth be told,
talk about beard. Some beards looking good on some guys and not on other guys. Do you remember our friend Aaron
Oh, of
from
course, dude.
Boulder.
That was
Dude,
a rustic man.
Aaron looked like the burliest man of men with a beard, and he had one of those beards that looked like most people's head of hair. Like it was like soft and flowy and so
So
full.
thick, like a
And
dwarf beard.
so yeah, literally, yeah, literally a dwarf beard, and he shaved it. And I like if I was judging him on a scale of 1 to 10 from like an attractive scale, I would have brought him from like a 9.2 to like a 6 flat, maybe lower than that.
Sorry, brother, but he did just get his skydiving license, so now
Which
he's
is
back top of the list.
badass. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really badass.
now we all want to bang him. Take us in the sky, mister.
Dude, I've been talking to a lot of people that have been getting their skydiving license recently, and I like that's something I'm super into.
I'm 100% into it. I just think that right now, so many people are in that like fuck it role where it's like they have more free time than they've ever had in their life. And they also don't know if they're going to die tomorrow. So I think a lot of people are just jumping into these opportunities that have never really been there before. It's like, who the fuck had free time enough to go to skydiving classes before COVID?
I know people are learning instruments. They're like, I tried to learn the harmonica.
Benny's playing the skin flute. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
You've been playing the skin flute?
No, I said Benny's been playing the skin flute. I remember Benny posted just recently. He like the 4 instruments that he's like played during COVID. I was like, that's actually a pretty wide arrangement of instruments. Like, and I played instruments.
They're all like the same, like wind reed, like flute style.
It's just like different lengths of flute. It's like, hey man, that's still the
like
same instrument.
Irish recorder. German fiddle,
the Finnish piccolo. Like, wait a second, is that just another name for a recorder? That's the yeah. I was gonna actually buy a guitar at the beginning of COVID, and I just remember we were in the house so much. It was like we were either out playing ping pong or we were sitting on the couch, and I was like, if I get this guitar, it's just gonna keep me in the house longer, and it's probably gonna get you guys to want to kill me because I'm gonna suck for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, you have a nice singing voice, but I can't really picture you picking a guitar.
Dude, I came up with a new song just recently.
Maybe
this one's going to be a country one. Made a deal with the devil today. We sang a song about all our wrongs when the devil came out to play. And I got this little ding, 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 ding. And you're out there in the background with a triangle. With a triangle, and there's a bunch of big-breasted women with lager jumping around us. And the devil's down around the fire pit doing his little dance too. And that's my entrance into the country scene.
We need a little bit more bonfire and a little bit more moonshine in our lives.
Well, hey, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I am going up on Thursday with a bobcat to the cabin, carving out, starting to try to cut a deal right now with Mcintyre gym. They're going to lend me one of their gyms. I'm going to carve out a spot in my backyard, build that. And then also next to it, I'm going to build a gigantic fire pit. And then I was just watching online. This guy was showing how to make wildflower beer. It was pretty impressive. So I think I'm basically going to start a hooch and powerlifting gym in the woods.
Yeah. Well, so me and Dylan Moralia about 2 years ago started making moonshine, and we've got the whole setup for it. And we've messed around with a lot of different like ingredients for the mash. And honestly, what I've found the best way to do it is barley and rye, hands down.
We got like fucked that night that we all drank moonshine and went downtown Denver.
Yeah, I know.
That was heavy.
Dude, I like a good balance between like out in the wild, bonfires under the stars, no civilization, and then like downtown, big city lights, night on the town. Like, dude, we had a good time after Hyrox. We should probably talk about that a little bit, about a little Hyrox recap and after party recap.
Well, I can honestly say that was the first time with like my actual close friends that I think we've partied since our mutual birthday.
Yeah, a full year, more than a year.
Yeah, dude, a year and a month. Because I think we partied on the night of the 10th, and our birthday party was on March 8th, 2020.
Yeah. Yep.
I have to say Hyrox did a great job. I'm so pumped, like not only because it's just a good event, but I'm so pumped that the company's like putting their extra efforts in, getting events put together. And they did it like, they know it's hard to get participants right now, even though they got a fair amount of participants, but they put on the highest level event that I've seen in a year.
100%. And like what they had to go through to do that. I mean, Christian, the guy who's running the US event, and basically their whole staff had to go and quarantine in Costa Rica for a week, 2 weeks,
Yeah.
just to like be able to come into the US. Not that that's really like that bad of a life having to hang out in Costa Rica for a week. They're all sunburnt and like
It's the prison
beer bellies.
that none of us ever want to see.
Yeah. But I mean, just the fact that like they were, swimming upstream to try to put this thing on and pulled it off and did a fantastic job.
Yeah,
I mean, every event they've had in the US, and I haven't been to any international ones, but I'm soon have just been top notch all around.
Top tier. Yeah, dude. Like I would say all the way from the base level all the way to the elite level, it was run really well. Like everyone that I saw that was in the open waves had a blast. Like it wasn't messy, it wasn't sloppy, it wasn't traffic like you see at Spartan races. And then the elite level, they did a great job putting it together, announcing it, filming it. The athletes that came were all from all different chapters. The women's field was a fucking monstrous field. Those girls were terrifying.
Yeah, I know. And girls are coming out of the woodwork too, that like nobody knew about before. And now they're like just total demolishing people.
Even though Rachel won pretty handily, I would say MVP for me was Rebecca Hammond.
Yeah.
Dude.
She's been working towards this for a while,
She's like Bruce Lee. Like you look at her with her clothes off or clothes on, like it'd be so unassuming. You're like, oh, well, this girl, she looks like
with her clothes off.
10 times more scary. I'm just saying, like, if you met her, you'd be like, oh, this girl's got like a liberal arts degree or something like that. And it's just like, she's like a, maybe a post-grad writing like, books or something like that. She just doesn't look like an intense athlete type figure. And then all of a sudden I saw her cut down to a race gear. I was like, all right, she looks lean and mean. And then I was watching her push the sleds and it was just like striations in her muscles and all cut up. And like, it was a brutal fight for her to do it, but she fought.
Honestly, I think so. I mean, we've all like watched a handful of events so far, and for the most part, the bigger guys have proven to come out on top.
Yeah.
Or at least the stronger guys. Until this event, I think was the first time you really started to see leaner guys be able to really hang. Like that kid Dylan who won the Pro Wave.
He impressed the hell out of me.
I mean, what do you think? He's 150, 160 pounds at most?
I listened to his interview and he says he's 160 pounds. And his workouts, like I looked at some of the stuff.
But like a tall, skinny 160. Not a bulky 160.
Yeah. He looks like a cross country runner who does a bunch of push-ups.
Yeah. And I think the sled push, if you've got the engine behind it, I don't think you have to be superhuman strong. Like there's certain, like you're still going to get your ass whooped on the pole, the sled pole, and you're still going to get your ass whooped on probably, gosh, what else is going to hit you the hardest?
I think it's really hard for horsepower. The sled push, sled pull, then close after that is the row, and then the farmer's carry. Megita put down the farmer's carry 4 times. He's strong, but and I think Dylan, he only put it down once. So it depends on how strong you are. And that row just takes the horsepower out of you. It's a very strong sport. You just have to be like fit and strong. It's interesting. I still study it daily. And then, the race was great, but most importantly was the copious amount of booze that we drank afterwards. I was clean for a month, clean as a whistle.
Same. I didn't have a single drop since my birthday a month before. And I mean, we had the Hyrox guys come,
pool party.
Pool party. That was the most fantastic thing about this event. The whole thing was at this hotel with an awesome like swim up pool bar and like courtyard full of games. Yeah. So we started pool party. Then we went to hot tub party. And then we went to that Mexican race place, right? Where Killian and the guys met us out.
That was decent at best, but we drank. That was nice. Like Dallas has this like really good outdoor vibe to it. And then that's when we went to that club and that was packed. Like COVID does not exist in Texas. You know what exists in Texas? Good spirit and cheer for life. Texans,
and Fireball.
Lots of Fireball. when we got like that, we got that VIP spot up on the balcony, and that was incredible.
I've never been to one of those before where they bring the bottles out and they light like the sparklers and shit come out in them.
Totally. Just like a
Yeah.
bunch of babes, like,
Yeah.
hey, you spent way too much money. Who ready
I know.
to drink?
Like, dude,
You
I've
know,
I've I've been to Vegas and got like, bottle service, whatnot, but they just like some girl with like fat rolls coming out of her like her shirt, like comes slaps a bottle on the table and she's like, here you go. There's $4,000. This
yeah,
was like we got treated well in Texas.
exactly. And that's why I think everyone's moving to Texas, because everyone wants a little bit more Southern hospitality. It's like, hey, I spent a fair amount of money. Like, would you at least wink at me when you put the bottle down on the table and not make me feel like I'm making terrible decisions with my life? You know, maybe blow me a kiss, remind me that it's okay to make mistakes.
It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Um, who was the guy in the Lakers jersey who kept coming up and talking to us?
Dude, that's this dude. I got to look through my phone.
He keeps coming up in all these stories. People are like, "Oh, remember the dude in the Lakers jersey? You were talking to the guy in Lakers jersey."
dude,
And
that's
I
so funny.
cannot.
He's gonna love hearing this. So he is one of my clients on House,
That's
and
not that kid. The kid who's in college, is it?
no, let me see here. God dang it. Just give me a second. Keep on talking. Distract Kyle. His name's Kyle, dude.
And
His
what's
name's Kyle, and he invited us, dude. He said, anytime we want to come down to Texas, like all access pass to hunting clubs that he's down there, and we can do whatever the fuck we want. He's like, any
for
gun.
real?
And yeah, he says right here. Yeah, dude. He was letting me know. He goes, y'all come down here to Texas again, hunt ducks at my place over November through January.
Oh, there was the duck hunting guy. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
so glad I brought that up because I knew this guy who met us randomly out in the middle like of downtown in Dallas after Hyrox wearing a Lakers jersey and just ready to party had some significance in our lives.
Oh, dude, he was the man. I totally forgot his name. I'm sorry, you slipped my name, but my mind, Kyle. But yeah, dude, he was always like super cool. And then he just like walked up to us randomly. He's like, hey, dude. I'm like, what's up? And I was pretty lit at that point. And he's like, dude, it's me. And I was like, we've been talking on the internet. I was like, oh shit, dude. He's like, yeah. He's like, I tried Hyrox. My friends and all had a good time. He just like randomly ended up in the same bar as us, and we ripped it up. That dude was a good time. And people were all jumping over the ropes. Grant was there. All the ninjas were there. Fate was there. I wish Nick came.
I know.
That's not his environment though.
Yeah. I mean, wherever Grant goes, he brings his and it's the same with all the ninjas. They bring their ninja like following, and people come out of the woodwork. There are people there like wearing Island Ninja t-shirts to like support Grant.
Yeah, dude. He's got a diehard following. The thing about Grant is like his eternal optimism and well-roundedness and being an athlete is very, very easy to connect with.
Yeah.
Whenever I post something, like I sent you the screenshot the other day, it was a podcast talking about the mindset of just like being a pro athlete and how I kind of use mental games to kind of test my opponents. And people are like, fuck you, Hunter, you piece of shit. It's so rude that you'd attack your competitors like that. If you'd only play fair, let's see how you'd really race, dick. Grant, on the other hand, is like,
But I asked you the same question when you were asking about this the other day. Was like all these people who are talking a bunch of shit. Like, how many of them have you actually ever met face to face or know even like of?
Dude, nobody ever wants to talk to shit face to face. That one guy that I had the engagement with at the Spartan games, I think was probably the first time I actually had an altercation of like verbal daggers. Like a verbal duel. I wish we took out pistols and shot each other because I want to fuck that dude up. I would never really hurt anybody like that, but I'm just saying that's how they used to handle things back in the day. And it was very different. Now people just talk shit on the internet the whole time. And I miss it. Like, I don't antagonize people because I want the worst for them. I antagonize people to get the best out of them. Yeah. And it's either going to rise to the occasion or you're not.
Talking about like how they used to do it and whatnot. Do you ever study like how the duel, like the art of the duel used to work? It was like if two men had a disagreement, right? I say it could be women too, but at the time it was men, right? If two men had a disagreement that they couldn't like settle in person, and they're like people were very like strong to their values, so they weren't very flexible on a lot of things. They would basically stop talking, walk away, and then they would send like a proxy to come and challenge the other person to a duel, being like, we couldn't agree on this. The only way to settle this is like a gunfight at 10 yards apart from each other.
Is this
And
like
then,
one of those things where you think all the presidents are over 6 feet tall? Are you sure these
no.
stats are real?
This is true. This is true story. True story. There's actually, it's like very
Factual,
well written. There's like 10 rules of the duel. And then they would like show up for the duel in person. And most of like 99.9% of the time, it was like settled then and there. There was like, the one guy was like, okay, I see you showed up with a loaded pistol. You're ready to go. I showed up with a loaded pistol. I'm ready to go. Like now we can talk this out. But like, just, it was like,
So it wouldn't usually go to pulling triggers. It
wouldn't usually go to pulling triggers, but all it had to do was like the two men had to show up and show that they were serious enough about their point that they were willing to go that far. And they didn't really have to, but it was like,
that's the problem with society these days. It's like anybody can fucking say anything and then they can run away, or they don't even have to be present to say it anymore because of the basically the connection with social media. It's like, it's so easy. Dude, so many people just shit on me all the time. And I'm just like, I used to fight back. And then I just thought to myself, I was like, this is not going anywhere. Like if you told me I could dig a hole to China, and I would start, because I know where China is. It's on the other side of the fucking earth. I got to dig straight through. But if the hole was just going to keep on scrolling around and I would never get to China, I would never bother starting, because there's no point. There's no end to this crazy battle. Even though China's on the opposite side of the world, I would at least do it because I would have something in mind at the end where I'm going.
I'm not gonna lie, I followed that analogy like maybe 25%.
No, dude, I'm just saying, like, if there's no end point to it, what's the fucking point of starting?
Okay, yeah. So I got you. So like,
the reason why I mentioned the China thing is because it's the craziest idea in the world to dig a hole to China. That's why they always said it. But at least I would go to that length if there was an end.
Yeah.
I really like, all these like stupid celebrity boxing matches that are going on right now. Yeah. That's really what I want to do. Like, I tried earlier this year to
wait. That's what you want to do because you want to settle beef with people, or just?
Oh yeah, like the Buttery Bros. Like, I don't really have anything against them. They were just kind of rude to me when I came into CrossFit.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay. I messaged them on Instagram. I said, hey, listen, like, why don't we settle this? I was like, you two boxing me. I was like, we'll switch up one per round. No, I'm saying like one brother comes in and fights me for the first round. Next brother comes in, fights me for the next round. And we'll just fight until, I think that'd be great.
They're actually brothers?
I think so.
Huh.
I think so. So it's like, I just wanted to settle it. And it's no hard feelings. It's like, let's just punch each other until we get this aggression out and figure out our situations. Like Megita and I was like, all right, dude, you know what? Instead of talking shit, let's go compete. And we competed. And now all the drama between Megita and I, him, I'm going to step on your throat and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And then it was settled right after we were done racing. It was settled. And that was a weird interaction when we were at Hyrox for sure. It was very weird.
I do wish David come out and party with us after. That would have really.
Yeah, dude, that's how we always did it. Like, I don't think there's one person I've ever not wanted to have a beer with after competing. Like, it doesn't matter how, if I won or
even
lost.
Killian was out there wearing his big old belt buckle. Do you see that?
Killian's a savage, dude. He is my favorite person to hang out with. He's a hard competitor, and then he knows also how to get down.
Yeah. Dude, I wish he would come and meet me for tactical games.
I don't think he doesn't want to.
No, I know, but he's just got excuses because of like work and stuff, which I totally get. But I mean, I don't want to hear that,
Dude, I don't want to hear that shit either. No. I will admit though, like, so I just got to go home and see my family, and I got to meet my brother's 5-month-old daughter.
Dude,
I know Killian. Yeah, it was really fun. I know that Killian doesn't have any 5-month-old children, but he has 2 kids. And I didn't really understand just how much until this summer, where I started to spend time with a lot more kids. Like, I was living at my friend Cullen's house with his 4 kids, and I spent time with my brother and his kids. Dude, it's insane. Like, kids, there's no reasoning with them. They take over all of your time, all of any kind of logical path to taking care of these things. They don't give a shit.
I mean, people talk a lot of crap about Killian, but from what I've heard from like a parenting perspective, he seems like a really good dad.
He's a fun dad.
He was telling me at this barbecue we had last summer that his kids, for like their birthday, one of them wanted this there's like this new toy thing where it's like a treasure chest, and you like buy, I don't know, it's like a couple $100 as a treasure chest, and it has like toys inside of it or something like that. And
He
Killian
built
was like,
one.
"What's that?"
Didn't he build it?
Yeah, he was like, "Fuck that, we can do better than that." And he like bought this like old like treasure chest from like a thrift store, and then like filled it with like maps to like other cool shit. And I was like, dude, that is like one of the coolest dad things I've ever heard of.
I'd
Like,
give
I
my
would
kid a
love to do
bar
that.
of candy and a hammer and nails. Like, take this energy and go build yourself something, boy. Quit being a
Right?
disappointment.
I would have been in heaven if someone handed me a fucking. Honestly, right now at 31 years old, if someone handed me a treasure chest with full of like maps and shit like that, I would be the happiest person. You keep me occupied for 2 months.
Don't you remember at the beginning of COVID when we first started talking about maybe going to look for that treasure that was hidden in Colorado that was pretty famous?
DB Cooper's.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden he had to shut down the whole thing because people died on the way to going to do it. But
Yeah.
literally at the beginning of COVID, when we didn't have anything to do, we were like starting to look like, hey, maybe we could do this. Like logistically, we could put it together and go find millions of dollars.
Yeah. I mean, dude, every time I'm in like a hotel room flipping through channels, that Curse of Oak Island, I get stuck on that every time.
What is that?
It's like these guys bought this island that's supposed to be like cursed and have some old ancient treasure on it. And they literally have spent life savings. They have like an entire excavation team out on this huge, it's like a couple miles wide, digging up the entire island. And every single time they find like one little rock or one little like old, like two broken sticks that were arranged in like the shape of like an X or something like that, they lose their minds. And they've never found anything, but it's still like, I can't turn it off. I love it.
We should go to that island and just bury a treasure chest filled with anal beads, and they'll find it and they'll be like, yeah. So they open it up, duped again.
Oh my God. Fantastic.
Do you want to get down to why we really met today?
Dude, I almost got sidetracked.
Yeah, we did. What do you want to kick off the subject? Do you want me to kick off this?
We've been trying to fire this podcast off for like weeks. I have all my notes for it written on hotel napkins because I was about to do this podcast on the road and I was out in California last week. And this is like that little folder that they put your room key in, and I had to use that for writing notes on.
It looks fascinating.
But so we wanted to talk about cereal. I don't know how this came up. Why this? Do you remember?
I think we were just going through subjects and I mentioned cereal because I think cereal is fucking awesome.
Oh my God. I know. Actually, when you mentioned the topic of cereal and I started like doing research on it, it was like 10:30 at night. I'm in a hotel room and I literally stopped what I was doing. I went out and I found a grocery store and bought cereal and like a thing of like half-gallon thing of milk and drank and ate the entire thing before I went to bed.
Just had savage poops.
It's honestly it's the best. Like nobody's going to argue with you on that one.
Well, I'll open on this. This is just an interesting fact.
I got some good factoids for this one too, by the way.
Well, it's just because of what you brought up.
But I'll let you start off history-wise, the history of cereal, if you'd like.
Well, interestingly enough, like cereal's just been around for a really long time. And like, even like I was just reading this quote right here.
Fucking difficulties.
Uh-oh. You reading me, Goose?
Buddy, you there?
Oh, Goose. Hold on. Goose.
We got a poor connection going here. Copy that.
Oh man, that was stressful. We lost connection for a second, guys. Now, honestly, when I did some research, there's some stuff that goes like way back into like civilization and talking about the Silk Road and stuff, having cereal, and like it was too loose of information to really sink my teeth in. So I went more modern day, but I will tell you that there are some connections with Jesus and cereal, and basically in the religion of Judaism, they basically thought that, the guy, the Messiah was going to be born in Bethlehem, and Bethlehem stands for the bread house. So the house of bread. So I'm just letting you know right now, Jesus basically was born into a cereal house. But other than that, when you come more to modern day.
Well, so the from the research.
Yeah, go ahead. Did our connection go south again?
We're good. Is that you or me that's fucking up?
It's got to be you.
Yeah, just for a second. I was trying to be quiet and pretend like nothing happened.
Yeah.
But all my Wi-Fi shit's disconnected. So, but so you were talking about Jesus.
Jesus.
right?
Yeah.
Jesus. So from what I'm finding about the history of cereal too, very Jesus related. There was this guy James Caleb Jackson in somewhere in the late 1800s, 1863, and he was this fanatical like preacher. He wrote a just like ultra conservative. He wrote books on why like dancing is evil and why you should never let your kid like Footloose type shit.
Yes.
And he also believed that like fine foods, very like tasteful and flavorful foods, stimulated the libido and sexual appetite, which to people of that time was a very evil type thing. So he was trying to develop a food that would suppress sexual appetite, and that's where he came across his first recipe for cereal, which is
Really?
which is like really it's kind of concerning because I personally am a very big fan of
Anytime you eat a
sex
bowl of
and
Cheerios, you just got a
also
steaming hot boner.
and I also love cereal, so I don't feel like I should have to choose between those two.
It's like when
But he
people tell you
started
soy
off
milk is going to give you tits.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love
So
soy milk
he started off
lattes.
with this creation, this like really dull, like hard, chunky food that was called granola. He called it, and you had to literally like soak it in milk like the night before, so it would be like soft enough to even chew. Um, and then some other his actually his brother-in-law came around and stole I believe it was either his brother or brother-in-law, like stole the recipe, tweaked it a little bit, and called it granola because he was running some patent issues, some copyright issues with having the U in the name. And then
Hold on,
shortly after that, what's that?
man, I'm not trying to debate that you're wrong, but I literally read all my stuff from New York Times, and they literally said that John Harvey Kellogg was a surgeon in Michigan who later ended up making granola. So that was his
It's
brother?
all look deeper into it. No, so his brother brought it back to this. I believe it was like some kind of infirmary, sanitarium. Sorry, a sanitarium in Michigan, which was called. I took these notes so long ago, like
Dude,
two
this is
weeks
so
ago.
crazy. This
But
is
he took it
murder
back.
mystery at its best.
So check this out. So he took it back to this sanitarium that John Kellogg was actually hired by a rival sanitarium to steal the recipe of granola. So Kellogg was actually not officially hired to steal it, but hired to like go and do research on why this sanitarium is having success. A sanitarium is some sort of like religious clean type place, some sort of like kind of rehab-ish facility. But that actually at the time like celebrities would go to. But so Kellogg actually stole the recipe from granola and brought it back, and eventually after some name changes and whatnot formed the Kellogg company in 1925.
Well, dude, that's crazy because one of my favorite cereals, Grape Nuts, which definitely gets me excited. Like the most old school gnarly cereal of all. One of Kellogg's patients used to work like with Kellogg. He ended up going out and creating his own cereal. So I
Yep,
wrote
great
this in
one.
my notes. Cereal was created by Michigan gangsters, and quickly people stole the idea and ran with it. I was just like, that's pretty insane. This is basically cereal is based on mafia and murder and mystery,
Exactly.
deceit,
Um,
lies.
that's yeah. So yeah, C.W. Post, who was from Texas, visited. It was the Battle Creek Sanitarium where all this shit was going down in Michigan,
Duh.
and ended up developing his own called Grape Nuts, which ironically does not contain grapes or nuts. And then but for a
Don't you fucking
while,
lie to me, boy.
this all this cereal was just basically like plain bran, either like corn based or wheat based or whatever. And it wasn't until 1909 was the first real like marketing campaign where they started putting prizes into the cereal
Which
for
I
like so
love.
little. Yeah, exactly. So little. That's where they started targeting little kids, and then it wasn't until 1930, I believe. I got to flip through all these napkins and shit to like figure out where I was here. 1939, Ranger Joe Popped was the first sweetened cereal. So it wasn't in for like
1949.
39. So 60 years after cereal was invented was when they finally started adding sugar.
Well, you know what that's in line with when we were going over to Germany to go pound Adolf Hitler. So you need sugar in your bowl to go put a beating on the world's
It
greatest
lines up
enemy.
perfect.
Perfectly. I mean, dude, think about it.
This is why, like, some people do history podcasts and some people write history books, which is good, but nobody quite ties it together like Morning.
We bring the facts to the table. We connect all the mysteries, and we bring you guys the story and a little bit of spunk with it too.
So we'll go one step further with it. After the sugar cereal, the sugar started coming in cereal, and they really started appealing to the younger generations, the kids. They were putting cereals into cartoons, like morning cartoons, and not like we have it now, where like you're in on the commercial breaks in between the cartoons, you have like characters. This was literally the FCC had to have a ruling saying that cartoon characters must not appear in commercials during the show itself. So they were literally having like let's say you're watching Rugrats or whatever, like, you know, Saturday morning cartoon. What was your would you watch Zoids? What was your thing?
Biker Mice from Mars.
Dude, Biker Mice from Mars were the shit. I had all the action figures. They're basically like mouse pirates from Mars
in space.
Yeah, in space.
Like, what the fuck?
Better show.
Like, where did you get these motorcycles?
I'm so glad you brought
that up. Jacked?
Dude, I literally had the entire gang action figures. Like, I know you had like the Hulk Hogan and Triple X action figures, but I had my Biker Mice from Mars action figures.
Did you have the video game?
No.
You didn't know about the video game, dude?
No.
Original Nintendo.
Wow.
You know, like where you like, you're like, and then slap it into the box.
That's the best search guy. Dude, I got the original Nintendo when I was like way past its prime. We didn't have yeah, I know, dude. And I loved it then, but like we didn't have TV or anything growing up. Like we had a TV, but it wasn't hooked up to anything. Yeah. And my grandfather, my poppy, would record cartoons. Like this is like once every few months. He'd record like a VHS of cartoons and mail it to us. And we would just watch the same cartoons again for like over and over for the next
That's
2
a
months.
good-hearted man right there, dude. That's commitment to like actually care enough about your grandkids to go out of your way. Because I don't think I would do that. Not that I don't care about my family. It's just like that's not the way I express my love.
But what I was getting at with all this, it'd be like watching Biker Mice from Mars, and all of a sudden, like Toucan Sam just like shows up during the show and is like, "Hey, Biker Mice, you guys should eat Fruit Loops," and then like, you know, fly away. And they realize like that is like just like targeting kids way too hard because they don't understand the difference between reality and commercials. It gets ugly.
Well, dude, that's how you manipulate children.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna start my own cartoon. I think, dude, if you really want to make money, I think like one of the easiest ways to do it, if you and I were just like, hey, we're just gonna go for the dollars, you and I should literally write children's books. And then off of that, you sell toys from the children's books. Off of that, you sell cereal to the children.
I know. So do you have any other crazy facts you want to point out about cereal?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Like I wanted to, like I did my studying and I like understood that it was a digestive. And then all of a sudden, like I really liked the criminal aspect of it. I think I needed to do more research if we wanted to find more of the criminal aspect of it. But it did seem like cereal was like an industry built off of lie and deceit, which is so interesting. It's like, why did you need to go research how to make cereal? And it always seemed like people like stupidly stumbled into it. Like one of the interesting facts is Wheaties was basically created because one of these doctors at one of these sanitariums spilt it on top of a hot stove and it started to cook the cereal and then it hardened up all the wheat bran mix and changed it. So I think they found out that they could take this bread and then heat it and change the actual like kind of texture of the cereal so it became crunchy and stuff and would become more aerated. So it's like it's almost like they stupidly stumbled into cereal because that guy.
On that note, so the first like puff, you ever have like puffed wheat or puffed rice?
Yeah.
Or sugar smacks? The first developed that by literally exploding them inside of like an old Civil War cannon. Like on accident, like this, just crazy.
Yeah. So like even that first cereal that you're talking about back in the day when that guy created it, he created cereal because by accident his bread got left out and it was so hard. The only way he could eat it is he had to leave milk soaking it overnight. And then he was like, wow, this is so good. And then all of a sudden, boom, granula is what they called it. And then it became like,
That's
granola.
how you know you're poor. You know you're poor if your bread gets so stale you can't eat it, and rather than throwing it out and getting more bread,
Like, damn it, get the milk again. The bread's gone hard.
soak
Yeah.
it in
But what I wanted to really go into was just finances and some of kind of the most interesting, like modern day stuff that I think would be interesting for people to hear. So, what do you think the most valuable cereal is?
most valuable cereal brand or
No,
actual
just cereal, actual like in a box, one thing.
Oh, I feel like I know this one. I'm just gonna go with Frosted Flakes.
Close. That's number 3. It's Cheerios. So Frosted Flakes is selling $412 million worth of cereal a year. Honey Nut Cheerios is $421 million. Cheerios is $435 million. So they're all relatively close, but the actual brand of Cheerios, meaning like multigrain Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios, like chocolate Cheerios, that brand is selling over $1 billion worth of cereal a year.
Wow.
Which is just crazy. And like, they're selling, these cereals are selling, like each box is selling hundreds of millions of units every single year. And they're building off of just like such crazy little margins of like, they'll bump up the price by like 13 cents. And all of a sudden they were talking about how much richer the company became just by bumping something up by 13 cents because they're selling so much.
I don't know about you, but I've always been that like the bottom shelf plastic bag type of cereal kind of guy.
Yeah.
The bulk knockoff brand.
Well, dude, I buy Puffins at these stores in California, especially. We're in California. First of all, it's expensive. Yeah, exactly. It even happened in Boulder. So like basically if you go to a premium grocery store, these people are like, okay, these people are at a premium grocery store. We're going to charge them a premium price. It's basically like 70% of the box is actually just air. And then the other 30% is just compressed cereal. And you're spending $6. So I'll go to the store, get 2 boxes, and literally in a day, I'll finish both boxes.
Yeah. So what is your favorite cereal?
Okay. That was also the next thing. Okay. So if you had to guess, what's my favorite cereal?
You? Honey Nut Cheerios.
Boom. Nailed it. Okay. Number 2. Fuck, your face froze.
How about me? What do you think?
I'm trying to remember what you went for all the time. Were you a Puffins guy?
The Puffins are all right.
What did we have all the time?
We didn't really eat cereal that much.
Oh, I ate a shit ton. Okay, what was it?
But for me, it's probably Cinnamon Life.
Wow. I never would have picked that.
Yeah.
I never would have picked that because I don't think I've ever seen you eat Cinnamon Life.
Because you haven't. I have to stay away from it because if I get 1 box, I'll eat 100.
We've been roommates on and off for 5+ years. 2016.
I don't think I've ever bought Cinnamon Life around you, to be honest.
Yeah, so that's why I would have had a hard time seeing it. But I do remember Puffins being in our drawers often.
Yeah, we would get Puffins. And then actually that was some like Whole Foods brand, like chocolate Cocoa Puffs. Pretty damn good. I'd have those.
Dude, have you tried this Magic Spoon stuff?
No.
Dude, this is incredible.
Wait, do you remember the ones where they used to like, you'd have the box of cereal, and if you had like 4 of the same boxes of cereal, you could put all the coupons together and mail them in an envelope to the manufacturer, and they would send you back cool stuff? Did you ever do that?
No, I never
did.
That
was my like entire year. Like, let's say when I was like 7 years old, I would describe my 7th year of life as like, oh yeah, that was that time I got 3 different prizes from cereal boxes. Like, that's how cool it was. Like my entire year, like based around it. Cause you'd mail this. It would take you, first of all, like weeks to get enough boxes. Like, cause mom wouldn't just go buy you 4 boxes of cereal. You had to like go through them one at a time. And then you put the shit together. And I remember one of them was for like a flashlight. It was like, I don't know, some like Roger Rabbit flashlight or something like that, which I thought was the coolest shit in the world.
Still have it to this day.
And you mail it out. It takes what, like 100 years for the letter to get there, another 100 years for them to process it, and like another 100 years for the letter to come back. And like 6 months later, you get this like shitty little flashlight in the mail, and you're like, yes, it's the best.
It's so funny how what seems like 100 years, like now I would just send it and forget it. And then it comes back. I'm like, oh, wow, this is here. Back then, you're like, gosh, every second you're like, when is it coming? Do you think they've received it yet? Do you think there's any chance that someone intercepted my mail and they're
I
gonna take
remember
my
asking
Roger
my
Rabbit?
mom, like, can we call the post office to ask them like where my letter is? And she's like, no, you can't do
Dude,
that.
being a kid was so much fun. I'm never gonna try to lose that. Like
I know.
it will admit, like when we went to Hyrox and I saw a couple people who I think really let the year get to them, it was like they aged like 1,000 years. Like I hung out with Alex Nicholas, and this is nothing against Alex Nicholas, but last time we saw him, he raced in Chicago and took third against myself and Kent. So he was like top dog in Hyrox.
Yeah.
And then a year of COVID and just like business stress and family stress and everything. He was just like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm kind of like, moved on. I got this going on. I was like, it wasn't like he physically had aged, but it was like as if he had decided to shift away from like
Yeah.
youth and chasing dreams. And I was like, wow. And I witnessed it with a lot of other people too. I was just like, we can't let this go. We
I know.
can't.
Well, dude, to be honest, I flirted with disaster this year because not disaster, but I really was
Disaster.
strongly considering um phasing out of the high end athletic performance and going towards really just focusing on my business, which is still, it's still a goal of mine. But I also kind of realized that I'm not quite ready for that. Like I got a lot of, you know, I got a lot of tread left on these tires, and I just enjoy racing so much. I enjoy the whole process of it, the training, the actual competition, celebrating with the people after, talking with the people leading up to events, at events, after events, like. And I'm just not quite ready to give that up yet, you know?
Well, I think what you need to do, and I struggled with the same line. Like I think you watched me go through it. We were both just like
Yeah,
going through our own emotional breaks of this
yeah,
stuff. And it's hard. But I think what you need to do is you got to be your best hype man. Like you got to look at your situation and you got to be like, you have to talk yourself into it. You can't talk yourself out of it. If you talk yourself out of it, it's so easy to get out because it's hard to be there to begin with.
yeah.
Everybody always, it's so easy. Like everyone's got pockets full of excuses. Like it's hard to find somebody who's even got one reason to stay, when going gets tough. So I was just watching this thing the other day about the greatest bowler of all time. And his name's slipping my mind. He's a much older guy. And people were always like, just like, oh man, he's aging out. Dude, he didn't quit until he was like 50 and he was dominating the scene. And the way he would keep himself hyped up is he was super obsessed with WWE wrestlers like I was. And he'd be in these bowling stadiums and he would literally just be talking shit to the crowd. And they couldn't tell who he's talking shit to. And later on in interviews, he told them, he was like, there was nobody there. He was like, I was talking to someone who wasn't really there, but was there in my mind.
Yeah.
And he'd be shitting on him. He's like, fuck you, man. You see these pins go down. He's like, they're going down again and you're going down too, baby. And they'd be like, wow, like who is he talking to in the crowd? Like, because he would wear sunglasses. Like, we can't really tell who he's connecting with right now, but he's intense. And I was like, dude, like, don't let go. Like, you cannot let go of this moment. Because, like, think about somebody like Bodie Miller, the skier, who didn't retire until he was like 40.
Yeah. Dude, I was just thinking of, so I've been researching a lot of like professional shooters and some of the best shooters of all time. And there's this guy, Jerry Michalek, from Louisiana, and he didn't start winning titles until he was like 45 or 50 years old.
Yep.
And he's got like 100 world titles. YouTube Jerry Michalek, revolver. And he's made 1,000-yard hits on steel with a pistol. He can rattle off like, I think
1,000
like
yards.
1,000-yard shots with a pistol.
What, like with a Python Colt?
He shoots a Smith and Wesson. It kind of looks like a Python. It's like a big, long-barreled revolver. But I think he can shoot. He has like the world record for 8 shots. So it's like a 4-shot revolver, I believe. So he like draws it out, shoots 8 shots on a very accurate target from like 25 yards, reloads into a revolver, right?
Yep.
So reloads into a revolver and takes another 8 shots in like 1.1 seconds or something like that. You watch it and it's like, it sounds like a machine gun going off. He's like, and you're like, that guy just like, how can you possibly squeeze the trigger that fast and reload? It's absurd. You have to watch it in slow motion. But I mean, this guy didn't start winning titles until he's like, most people are getting ready for like retirement age, and he's still crushing it.
The real question is what cereal do you think he eats?
He's definitely a probably straight up cornflakes or
No milk.
straight up cornflakes, no milk, probably something real bland. All right, dude, I have a really good trivia for you. Um, favorite cereal of Saddam Hussein?
Oh God. Just give me a hint. Is it sweet or more like down the road middle?
A little combination of both.
Oh. It's got to be the mellow ones with like Cheerios and the Lucky Charms.
No, I think it'd be Raisin Bran Crunch.
Wow.
Yeah. The
World.
guards at the where they were holding them, and was it Guantanamo Bay or wherever?
Yeah.
Uh, like one of them wrote like a letter home to their wife and was like, Saddam Hussein's favorites. He literally goes nuts over Raisin Bran Crunch. He literally lives for the stuff.
Really? Dude,
Yeah.
that's so funny. Destroyer of worlds. And he's just like, these raisins.
I can't think of a single other person who loves Raisin Bran or Raisin Bran Crunch or any variation of that. And the fact that Saddam, that was his thing. So, I mean, while we're on the topic of celebrities and cereals, I really had to bring Teddy into the conversation a little bit.
Yeah,
And
buddy.
there's not a lot of association with cereal, but in 1948, Teddy Roosevelt did appear on it was a
Cereal ad?
Raisin Bran, actually. They had a prize inside that was a miniature portrait of Teddy Roosevelt.
That's dope.
Which you should be really, happy and excited to get that. I would be pretty stoked if I was a kid and got one of those.
Just a pocket painting of Teddy. You're like, yes.
Yeah. But he wasn't a cereal guy. He stuck to his morning routine of hard-boiled eggs and fresh handmade rolls. Lots of rolls, as he would say, every single morning. So hard-boiled eggs, rolls, and then copious amounts of coffee. There were, you ever heard of like the Wade Boggs story where he drank like 60 beers on an airplane?
Teddy would smash like 50 cups of coffee.
Same story with cups of coffee with Teddy Roosevelt. A personal assistant of his in the White House claimed that he drank 40 cups of coffee one day.
I don't think a lot of the people, like, I think it's like, truth be told, a more recent thing to actually enjoy water. Yeah. I think it's almost maybe a scam that we need as much water as they say that we do, because people used to survive off of booze.
We did the beer thing, and they literally, that's all they brought on the I was gonna say Titanic, on the Mayflower coming over was booze, and they would drink that instead of what? Like, I think your body has to adapt to that or something. But like, I have one cup of coffee and I'm jittery. I can't hold a conversation. I don't sleep that good at night. Like, having 40, I would be dead.
You're soft, dude. You also need the luxuries of world-class society, first world society. Teddy would leave the United States where he was a kingpin, and he'd go to the Amazon and go beat up alligators. And that was his style of living. Dude, I think we're both soft.
Well, I know. So he actually got started on coffee because his dad tried toughing him up. And when he was a little kid, he had asthma. So to help solve the asthma, his dad would just give him, like, really little kid, cups of coffee and small puffs on cigars to try to get his lungs strengthened up.
And then he became a president. So was he wrong?
One of the most badass men of all time. I think sometimes you have to do things that are stupid and don't make any sense.
Dude, my sister-in-law, I tried to feed my 5-month-old daughter. I was just like, what do you want? Booze? You want ice cream? You want cereal? She's like, what? Stop. They can't have anything. And I was like, this kid needs some ice cream. Margot, no, she's 5 months old. But she would have gone. She would have gone nuts for some ice cream. I ate a whole pint of ice cream. I was like, yo, Margot needs some of this.
I know.
They were not having it. Back in the day, dude, if you were a baby, dude, if they fed you a rock, you would eat that shit.
Yeah, you take what you can get.
Well, it's gone so soft. I'll just ask you another one that's more in the category of just interesting highs and lows. What do you think the top 3 worst cereals are for you? Give me number 1.
Worst cereals of all time. Honestly, Fruit Loops. I cannot stand Fruit Loops. I think it's the grossest thing there is.
Okay, Fruit Loops is number 3. But
what?
It's number 3, but it needed to be the marshmallow one. They had Fruit Loops with marshmallows. Like, if you think Fruit Loops already is challenging enough for you, think about putting marshmallows on top. It's like, that's a cavity heart attack waiting to happen.
Do you remember Cookie Crisp?
Chris. Yeah, of
Like,
course I
who
do.
the fuck thinks they can get away with making a cereal it's not even trying to hide it? Like,
Yeah.
there's no part of a complete balanced breakfast. Like, no, it's just cookies.
No, you listen, take something that you already enjoy, which is cookies, and then take milk, which you're going to probably drink while eating cookies, combine both together, make billions.
Literally billions.
Okay, what do you really think? Give me another shot for
Or so it was Fruit Loops and Marshmallow Fruit Loops were 3 and 2.
no, Fruit Loops, marshmallow Fruit Loops was its combination.
Okay. And so there's what else is in the top there?
You got two more left, second and first.
Isn't there a raisin brand that has no raisins?
You were close when you said crisp.
Raisin, like, what do you mean? Crisp?
Crisp is in the name. So
Oh,
golden,
Rice Krispies?
no, golden crispy. It was like a teddy bear. I don't know if you remember this.
No.
Now here's one more. I'll give you one more chance for first place. It was another animal, and he was a cartoon character, and he had his own cereal called. What happens when I go like this to you?
Sugar Smacks.
Honey Smacks. Yeah.
Honey Smacks, who's a frog. Right?
Yep. Honey Smacks, and it was 55% sugar. The nutrient value was 55%.
I was about to bring that up. That's the sugariest cereal of all time.
Yeah. Dude, you know what's interesting? This is off topic, but you need to watch this. Go watch. I think it's on Inside Trader. Shoot. Inside Business Provider. Shit, I can't even remember. Type in Warren Buffett. I tried to eat Warren Buffett's diet for 4 days straight. And Warren Buffett, the number one investor in the world right now, has the most atrocious diet ever. He drinks 2 liters of cherry Coke every single day.
Ew.
And he starts out his morning with McDonald's McMuffins. Then he has dude, everything he does is awful.
You think he's just trying to throw people off the scent? Like he really has a perfect Tom Brady style diet, but he just tells people it's really shitty.
No, dude, he literally, it's so easy to track the guy. He lives in some part of Nebraska and he goes to the same McDonald's and goes to everything. He's got a routine.
Really?
Yeah.
I know Trump's routine was horrible. A lot of McDonald's. He believed there was somewhere where he was quoted saying that he doesn't believe in exercise because he thinks that the human heart only has so many beats that it in its lifetime. And if you exercise, you're just using those heartbeats up.
I can't argue with him necessarily because we don't know. We don't know.
It's a good point. That's a good point. But not a way I'd rather die at 35 because I used them all up than live till I'm 95. All
right. We got to wrap this thing up. Oh, wait. So let me go back through. You talk about something for a second while I get this.
So my schedule that I have coming up, if we'll just do a little recap of that.
Yeah, baby.
2 weeks. I'm going out to Price, Utah for Tactical Games Utah, which will be my last event for the summer until the championships start coming in the fall. And Hepner is finally making his way out to that one. So we'll get a chance to throw down. I was out training with him out in Kansas a few weeks ago, and dude shoots well. He's no slouch, and we all know that he's an absolute stud when it comes to fitness. So I think he's going to do really well. He's definitely got a learning curve he'll have to figure out with it, but I'm excited to see him out there.
Well, what was I going to say? Do you think at this point you're going to be more competitive him, match competitive, or is it up in the air completely?
Hold on, repeat that.
Do you think you'll be able to match him? You'll better him, match him, or he'll be?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing that I got working in my favor is that we're about the same size. He's got, probably 15, 20 pounds on me, but height wise and generally we're in the same, ballpark.
Yep.
So when it comes to strongman stuff that is really weight reliant, that's, we're more or less on an even playing field with that. So I'm just going to have to make it up in, where he's can outdo me in fitness. I'm going to have to make up for that in running and shooting, which I think I could do. So
keep that trigger finger greased up. For me, I am basically going to be here almost until the Hyrox National Championships. Now, this is an open invitation. I've already invited Matt. But basically, I'm going to start an application where I'm going to invite about 1 to 2 people to come up and live at the cabin in the woods, all expenses paid for. Obviously, when you get there, like you don't have to pay for rent or anything like that, but you have to be somebody who's aligned with our goals, which is basically going to be, basically long distance running and Hyrox training. And it's just going to be like Matt and I have been doing training camps together since 2016. I started doing training camps originally in 2013 when I moved out to Joe DeSena's place. And I would like to give other people the opportunity. I already had this one firefighter guy message me from Alaska. Dude runs a 406 mile. It holds the world record, I think, for the fastest mile run with gear on. So I think he'd be a great fit. But I'm basically trying to build up like a strong man tribe of just some heavy hitters that want to have a blast, shoot guns, climb trees, run chainsaws, and put in hard workouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be heavy metal, dude. Listen, Kempson, I think if the people vote below that we need to come back together, you have your answer for what you should do. It's a training camp. National championships is coming up. Do you want to be a contender for the national title?
Let the people decide.
Let the people decide. Guys, if you care and you think that Matt and I should get back together for training camp, and you also think that you're a person who's a viable option, please comment down below and give me 30 seconds. I have to find out who the guy who won the pickle thing was. Okay. He said something super funny, and I can't find it to save my life. Was it during the Smirnoff thing?
No, it was during the you're talking about when we did the challenge. It was during when we did Liam, so strongman.
Okay.
Or history of strength.
Okay, here we go. Which
was like episode 4.
It was a really good one. He did like a story. History of modern strength began in
a story around the pickle.
Oh.
Okay,
yeah. Isaac Pagan. Isaac, if you
Woo! Isaac,
$250. Dude, if you are watching this show right now, all you have to do is just email me at housetraining, HAOS training @gmail.com. Send me your Venmo and I will send it out. Let's see if you're still tuning in, dude. Isaac, we wanted to give this out to you. You had the best response. Guys, if you want us to come back together, if you want this tribe to be doing these podcasts face-to-face and Kempson to be part of the training group, comment down below.
Can you tag people on YouTube?
I don't know. Who are you going to tag?
Well, I said they tag me.
Listen, say Matt Kempson in the comments below, or training camp. Just put whatever you want down there. If you guys have any ideas of what you think we should do for our next one, if we should bring on any guests, let us know. Obviously, we're going to be going to some really cool places. I think Kempson really has a good opportunity to be number 1 in this next event. And it would be awesome to watch him smoke Hepner. Not that I want to see Hepner be beat, but I want to see Kempson to really fully rise to the occasion of winning. So it's been some hard training, and I think it's going to be good answers for you. Other than that, guys, if you want to hang out, find me in Malibu, baby. We all good? All right. And
yes, sir.
All right. And I guess I'll just call you back in 2 seconds. I got to end this and save it.